Hi, I'm Christopher Runsman. Welcome to One Page Story Extravaganza. If you have a story idea you'd like to suggest, please put it in the chat or the comments. You can feel free to put it on the comments section in any of my social media or any of my posts at all. I do a one-page story from these ideas or ideas that are flowing through my own noggin every single day, and I post them online. If you want to see the original art, it's on my Patreon. The link's down below for that and all of the other social media outlets. Joining the community, have fun, subscribe to things, put the notifications on, all that jazz. But take part, have fun, watch for your suggestion to be made into a story, inspire others maybe with your idea, or, I don't know, be inspired to make some of your own. Either way, it's a lot of fun. Hope to see you soon. All right, how's everybody doing? I hope you're having a good day. I'm back. I got everything fixed with this StreamYard jazz. Hold on. My music's too loud. I listen to loud music when I'm just by myself in the studio. That's the madness. Anyways, hiya, Chris. Welcome aboard. I asked Miriam if she's staying safe in there, she and her family are safe during the conflict that's going on in Israel, and she is. We're all very happy to hear that, Miriam. Yeah, it's very important to us. Okay, a couple different things today. One, I wear glasses all the time now. And two, I'm just getting myself organized here, but I'll jump right in. This is today's page that I posted. This is, it's called Red Skies. The suggestion was from Michael, and Michael's suggestion was people about to get involved in an unwinnable war, and it has nothing to do with the conflict that's going on in Israel. There's no statement towards that at all. It's entirely just doing this suggestion, and I was, to be honest, I found out about that after I'd done the page. So, many apologies for those that might be sensitive to that. But I just, I'm not a fan of war. So I never try to glorify it. Some people do. Some people make it this epimoniacal thing, and I don't think it is. I think it's people hurting people. And I hope that everybody stays safe. Specifically those that aren't picking up guns and chasing each other with them. So. Also, yesterday I posted, or today I posted, today's Inktober page, which is Fortune. And somebody asked, how is this fortunate? Well, he's not in a boat that's sinking in the water. He's managed to save whatever he had in the water, and he's balancing on one of these floating pieces of whatnot. All very fortunate situations, so in a very unfortunate place. So this was fun. Anyhow, yeah, let's jump to the other camera. I forgot that today is 3 Prompt Tuesday. So, Corbin, did you forget it too? Corbin forgot it as well. And you can't be able to remember that, pal. Wait, pal. Yeah, let me move this. I got stuff in this way. That's why it's mad. Happy? All right, today's 3 words are Warhol, swirls, and mouse. So that's what we'll be working on today. This is just the big old surface that I work on. There's nothing specific about. That's what I'll be doing, whatever it is I'm doing today on this paper specifically. Just playing, just playing around, eh, pal? Corbin says, "You're dang right, you are." Corbin, meow, says Nico. Corbin, Chris Blue's cat says meow. Anything to say back? Nothing. He's looking at the screen. He sees us there. But... Okay, so I've got a piece of papier here. And I've been spending the day learning different things, learning different techniques in Photoshop, and trying to learn some video editing stuff to make this experience more spectacular for everyone. It's going to take some doing. So we're getting there. We're trying different stuff. So what do we got? Warhol and swirls and mouse. See, that's more like a Van Gogh thing, right? Right, Gordon? Yeah, nothing? No, he says nothing. So I think that, yeah, I think I'm just going to get into it as far as it goes for the page itself, and worry about. Sorry, buddy. I'm trying to move you over. He's pushing his way around on the table here today. So, okay. So, with this in mind, swirl, mouse, and Warhol as our three suggested words. Okay, everyone, here he is. If I give you attention for 2 seconds, there it is. Smile at the camera. Now will you leave me alone? I think you'll leave us alone now. All right. Okay, take it easy. Sit down, relax. You're fine. All right, Warhol, swirls, and mouse. This is our subject. I hope everybody's doing okay. I hope that everybody's had a decent weekend. My weekend was up. My weekend was down. But got to see family, got to spend time with everybody. Got to go and visit our new friends of the show. Well, they're not new friends. They've been friends. But the Craft Hive out of St. Thomas, Ontario. If you guys are in the region of the Craft Hive, please go check them out. It's a fantastic art and supply store, art and craft store. They've got so much great stuff there. And that's the store I love to visit whenever I can get in there during their hours and my hours in St. Thomas. So I picked up so much cool stuff like this. Oh, it's just a spreader thing, but I'm very excited about it. Dee Dee says, you got StreamYard back. Yeah, I figured it out. We're back on. We're back in the saddle. Back in the saddle again. Okay. So, anyways, I'm going to get working. But what I was talking about with the weekend being a series of highs and lows is that you've got to focus on the joy that you have in things that you're doing. And it's related to that I am I'm referring to that basically, is that when you get challenges and setbacks and people being people, let it go. Don't worry about it. Don't let it affect your situation. Okay, just keep working. Let's keep on swinging. Keep on sailing. Keep on going on. And there was a couple of things this weekend that, oh yeah, I tell you, you never know what you're going to get. So, not going to get too much into it, but at the same time, what's important is the happiness and the joy you find in the things that you do. And if you're not finding happiness and joy in that, then it doesn't need all your focus and your energy. It just doesn't. And that's, yeah. So that's where my headspace went on that one. Okay, so I'm being cheeky already. Cheeky monkey. And I'm drawing the first of our 3 prompts here. I'm drawing a mouse. Dee Dee says, what was the problem? What was the problem with StreamYard? I have no idea. I had rebooted once, trying to get it running on Friday. And that was the start of my technical difficulties weekend. And it wouldn't get itself together. And so I just gave it a break. Gave it a couple of days, came back to it, reboot the whole thing, downloaded it from scratch, and hey, we got StreamYard. So welcome aboard, everybody. Okay, welcome back for those of you that, Anyhow, so Warhol, swirls, mouse. So I'm drawing a mouse. Chris, I don't think that that's the mouse that was being suggested. Probably not. But that's part of the fun, isn't it? Yeah, so I have been having a good weekend otherwise, and enjoying, enjoyed the rest of the weekend. Let go of the things on Friday that were ridiculous, and got on and got back to doing what I do. So yesterday we went for a nice hike, long one, and with my wife's cousin. It's only about 5K. He tells us 2/3 of the way through. Yeah, he's a good guy. So here's our mouse, and I'm just being silly with this one. But there's my mouse. So, right? Yeah. That's not. I'm trying a couple different mice here. I'll just let you know that now. Every time I say mouse, Corbin looks at me. I'm trying to think of what mice look like. Hold on. I don't know what to do. Hey, buddy, I have this for you. This is Corbin's mouse. Don't be mad. I'll give it back. I promise. This is Corbin's toy that he plays with, and he keeps putting on my desk in the studio while I'm working. And it's a silly little toy that he picks up and hops up onto my desk with, and then proceeds to immediately throw off my desk. I think he's just shown it to his boss. It's just another mouse. Little footy. Okay, here it is. It's back. Okay, I'll give her back. Okay, hiya, Janet. Welcome aboard. Thanks everybody for coming out. I'm sorry about Friday's calamitous stream. We're back on track. But I hope that everybody's weekend went well overall, as I was saying. Curious what people are working on. I'm trying a couple different things right now. I used those double-sided pencils on Friday, and then the grandkids slept over on Saturday, Sunday, and my granddaughter started using those. She got up just before I did, and love her. I love her. But I'm gonna put those in the grandkids' playroom now because they don't work as well as they did. A little broken inside. It's all right. No harm, no foul. So here's Corbin's mouse. Boy, this kid gets in the limelight all the time. I had a fun picture I posted of the cats the other day. I'm sitting in the studio trying to get myself back on track on Saturday and Sunday. One of those two. Maybe it was even yesterday. And I turned to my left, and there's both of those maniacs sitting right beside me. So, Chris says, I'm back. There seems to be electricity problems in the area. I need to go to work in an hour. Well, I hope everything turns out. Ladies and gentlemen, watch out. Mr. Jim Lujan has joined us. Hiya, Jim. The legendary. Good heavens. Okay, so there's our second mouse. Like our nice bird. I think he loves him. He's not going to admit it. So right now he's busy beating up the one that I just drew. And today I'm listening to Brown Sabbath. Brown Sabbath is a band that covers the music of Black Sabbath. They're jazz. They're a jazz band that covers Black Sabbath songs. And I mean, the musicians of Black Sabbath Ozzy was doing whatever Ozzy was doing. Those guys had clear jazz underpinnings, and if you listen to songs like Rat Salad, such a lovely name, you'll hear it. It's just pure jazz. And so this Brown Sabbath group covering all those as jazz songs, it's just brilliant. And that's Chris's weird musical selection of the day. Now, what do we got? Brown Sabbath. Yeah, funny. They really are. Have you heard of Mac Sabbath? Seriously, they dress as McDonald's characters and play Black Sabbath. Like, what are you doing? Just find a spot, would you? Sorry, Carbon's climbing all over me. Not even kidding. That's fantastic. There's a really silly thing about a lot of conventions where there'll be bands for these convention shows. And Corbin, you're spoiling the secret. Now everybody knows that he's the one that does all the drawings. There's a thing about convention shows where they have these event nights. A lot of times they'll have bands from people in these convention shows, and oftentimes they're dressed. If it's a superhero convention, you got superhero bands, or Transformer convention, you got people playing rock and roll as Transformers, jamming the satellites, whatever it is. It's ridiculous, but people gotta have fun. You can't sit here, Tom. Come on, I love you, but it's not happening. All right. Making me crazy, buddy. Okay. So we got our first two mice. There's Corbin's mouse. There's my mouse on my desk. And now we're going to draw a traditional mouse. And so I've got a couple of different thoughts towards this. Miriam says, everybody already knew. Only I think I am the one who draws the pictures. It's really you, bud. It's really Corbin biting his mouse. Corbin needs to supervise. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so I think that for the third mouse, we'll do our live mouse. Now, I have an idea. And one of those ideas is, now there's the swirls aspect of this. And then there's the Warholian aspect of this. And I think one of the things that I can do, possibly, I'll see how I feel, but I could do the like he's doing poster prints, like he does of everything, like he did of everything else, and play with that motif. But there's no narration to that. That's just pretty static, right? So what if Warhol is hired to do, some poster prints of mice, and he starts turning in the wrong ones? How fun is that? That's just an idea, anyways. Also, Lori and I went and got glasses. In case you weren't here at the start when I said that. But we're very excited. One, because we can see what we're doing. And that's drastically different. I wear bifocals, and my problem with my bifocals is that it's either reading a book like this close, right, or it's distance. And so they were never the right distance for the stream. And so now we've got what are called readers, and it's for sitting in front of the computer or in the studio like this, working in front of the pieces. And so the focus is perfect for this distance. So I'm going to be wearing glasses all the time now. Yeah. Which I should have been doing before, but now I just am. So. Corbin is beating up his mouse. Yeah, I've said that I was going to work on a page about the party from the perspective of animals, and because I had forgot that today is Three Prompt Tuesday, so we got up for dinner. We're back on track. We got to figure it out. An interesting thing I came across recently. Now, I'm a big fan of trying to encourage and trying to encourage other people to do their thing. And I know a great deal of the people that I've had the fortune to engage, not just on this stream, but on their streams, etc., the larger community. Um, there's a similar mindset on that. Everybody seems to have a similar mindset of wanting to encourage and inspire others, and everybody has their little statements that they make about inspiration, and there's some really good ones. And if you have one specifically, please feel free to type it in the chat or the comments, because there's some funny ones. There are some really good ones, and there are some really funny ones. So, anyhow, Chuck Close had one, and there's a part of me that goes, "Yep," and then there's another part of me that goes, "Well, And the reason for those two fantastically different responses to it is that while I get it, and to me it does make some sense, is that it's a little bit elitist in that he says amateurs look for inspiration, real artists get to work. And so before everybody gets mad at me, let me explain why I like and dislike this. Inspiration comes to amateurs is argumentative, but real artists get to work is powerful. And so how my perspective is working on this is inspiration is fantastic, and everybody needs inspiration. I truly believe that, whether you want to admit to it or not. There are things that feed your soul and things that make you want to do work. It's not like you have to wait for some magical little moment out of the sky and, oh, that's the thing I have to paint or draw. But there are things around us and people around us and situations around us that make us feel good and make us want to do things and express ourselves. And that's important to recognize. It doesn't, mean you're entirely reliant on having to wait for some ethereal thing to come from the sky to encourage you to create something. There's more to you than just this. But the part about artists, and I'm going to take away the word real. The part about artists get to work is that there's a lot of truth to that, Anybody can do anything. There's nothing special about one person having some specific skill set and another person not, other than the fact that practice, develop skill, routine, taking the leap and encouraging yourself to do more, or to have faith in yourself and what it is that you're trying to do or trying to say. That's the difference. That's the work. That's the part that takes you from, being a person who says, well, I want to be a great watercolorist, and opening up the tin of watercolors. Well, I love watercolors, and I've got a watercolor set at home. Open the set of watercolors means you're a person who's trying to make discovery on your artistic journey. I think it's as simple as that. The pretense of real artists. Yeah. So I just think that's me. Maybe that's me. And Reem says I need multifocal. I wear trifocals, close mid distance. Didi has an expression called "no fear art," and her second is "inspiration is in your butt." More to me that drawing butts on things. What? If you haven't had a chance, please go and look up Janet M. Young's Instagram posts since the start of the month. Her Instagram uh, Inktober is drawing butts on things. It's called Stinktober, and it may possibly be my favorite Inktober ever. So, you get a chance, go check that out. I've also heard inspiration is 50% perspiration. Anything that rhymes with inspiration, I'm sure on some level has been used in correlation with expressing where inspiration comes from. So, you got these other transcendent inspiration is divine. Well, but like I'm trying to encourage again is there is inspiration's fantastic, but engaging in the process is the other part. And that's things like what Didi has said here in the chat of no fear art, or other encouragements that you'll hear from maybe other people in the chat, or whether here or someplace else, or whatever positive thing you're going to hear from whatever source. Just go for it, right? Make mistakes. Jackson Pollock, I denied the mistakes, I embraced the possibility. You've got, you're never going to get someplace unless you start walking. I remember that as a poster somebody had that I knew. And you're never going to get somewhere unless you take the first step. That's what it was. And it's one of those things that when you're young, you look at that and you go, oh, duh. But as you get older, you're like, oh, yeah, I get it. It's true. Is it those little encouragements that may not seem necessarily like encouragements initially? There's some people draw encouragement and inspiration from reading art books, and that's great. That works for you. That's great. And there's such a thing as people that just spend all their time in art books, and what I mean by that is, like, they spend the majority of their time replicating these projects in this expectation that this is how you make art as associated in said books. That's fine. If that works for you and that helps you in your creative journey, yes, sir. Oh, he wants to sit down with me again. Sorry. There's fine. Go ahead, do it. If that works, do it. You need to sit down and work. Yeah, inspiration's in your butt means you need to sit down and work. That's right. That's where the inspiration is. I'm sitting here all blushing and stuff. Journey of 1,000 miles. We'll get the Jim's question in a second. I think he has that one, Jim. Or something related. I think that somebody is having an awful lot of shopping sprees on Amazon right now. Not pointing any fingers at JIM. Anyways. So here is our third mouse, and here is my cat climbing into the shot again. I don't know if you can see him yet, but this is what I'm trying to work with. There you go, Corbin. This is completely normal. Mm-hmm. Using it as a chin rest, bud. So anyways, whatever it is, whatever helps you, or whatever helps encourage others to find that journey, to find that path. Excellent. Excellent. Now, in addition to that, those that are going to interfere with your creative process are those that are going to, be obstacles to what other people are doing, are not helpful, and don't listen to that advice. Buddy. Okay. Buddy, now you're falling down. Sit down. All right, he's sitting. Okay, Jim, question of the day. Do you go crazy shopping on Amazon Prime Day? Is that a day? Is that really a thing? Someone told me button share. Yeah, button share is good. Jim, no, I don't need a day. Oh my. Every day, Brave says. Indeed, he can relate to cat cam. Indeed, he practices with me. Yeah, there you go. I hunt offers, save products, and follow how the prices change. If it's on discount and I'll use it, I might buy it. There you go. I only ever go on to find the thing I need, and even at that, it's Lori helping me find out how to buy the thing on Amazon. I don't think people understand how big a Luddite I am. And it's just absolute consternation to me, the idea of how to do things. The interwebs. But it's harder to draw when you're looking at my hand. This is a professionalism right here. Huh? Live streams with the cat licking you all the time. Just nothing but awkward. Yeah, sure, Chris. Sure, it's a cat. Okay, so there's our 3 mice. So I've got an idea, and let's just work on it together. Okay, look at this patheticness. This is him under my second hand. Pathetic. Okay. All right, so my idea is, so the 3 things being Warhol, Swirls, and Mouse. We've got our mice broken down here, and I haven't got into the details of them. I'll do that. But if we look at, if I look at putting together a kind of print, a kind of card print for each of them, and similar to Warhol and how he would do his, his little bits of whatnot there, where he would have the Dayglow colors on people and things. That's pretty straightforward, where you got your thick line weight on the outside, you got the Dayglow image inside, and then with the outlining white. I mean, that's something I do now, but I think that something that could be interesting is to put this repetitive motif in the background here. Into the design of the backgrounds. That's my thinking. So, if I draw a bunch of these patterns like this on the sheet here, so what I'm working out on during the stream today is the design aesthetic, right? Like what the design ideas behind the page. But if I start doing some of these recurring, is this a swirl or is this more of a wave? I think I need to look up swirl. I think I better look up, what's a swirl, Corey? No. What is a swirl? Is that food for me? Oh, okay. So this is a swirl. So this is wrong. So a swirl starts from a central source, a central point, and then it's a black hole. And it moves out from the center. Okay, I get it now. We'll get creative with our swirling. Chris says, I'm on a budget. And I don't have much space at home to go crazy. I hear you. No wonder Corbin wants you to like me drawing mice. Yeah. It's this one that got him hungry. Let's put that one right there for him. Let's see how long I'm going to wait and find his mouse on my desk before he tries to take it. All right, so let's try something. It's so swirly. Oh, I feel like Tim Burton right now. You don't need space to go crazy. It's true. All right. I need to make t-shirts with me going, all right. I say it about 165,000 times a day. Oh, we may miss it out. All right, that's okay. We'll just do it again. Which was going to be fun. So we are, just on a side note, is anybody else having a real problem with how creatively bankrupt it seems more and more that Hollywood has become? They just remade The Exorcist. And I don't understand why. It's kind of sad. Okay, so anyhow, I'm going to work on my spirals, but I'll have some fun with that. So the idea is that these little recurring motifs to be printed on these cards. You know, just something fun. I like repetitive design motifs. And so whatever is in the foreground has this in behind it. And if I change the value system each time, then I can use the same design in each of those and still have it feel like unique. Stop. I was beating this mouse up on my desk. So that's an idea. So whatever the subject is in the foreground is going to have this recurring idea behind it. So you can see I put the frame here. Now, our narrative. So like I've said before, sometimes in order to find the short story that we're working on in the moment, sometimes it's just the benefit of just getting to work. Your seat in your seat in the butt, your butt in the seat, and getting down to putting an image. And the moment that you start in that situation, then you're going to start getting all kinds of different stuff together for a piece. Like we've got the different mice drawn now. We've come up with this crazy spiral design motif to scan and put in behind the objects in the Warhol-esque print images. And I think that what I'm going to do for the rest of it is, well, I got one more thing I want to do, but I think that what I'm going to do is to have Warhol trying meeting with a client and trying to fulfill the client's ask. So Jim says, all these remakes, sequels, and reboots are sad me a little bit. Just wish there was more original properties out there. The balance is off. Yeah, but I think that it's because you've got guaranteed moolah by doing certain things, right? And that guaranteed money, everybody loves the X's, man. So let's put Hugh Jackman into a 63rd appearance in whatever, yet another Ryan Reynolds appearance as the Deadpool guy. Just keep going. Just keep with these sequels. Just keep the Marvel machine constantly churning out more product. It doesn't necessarily mean it's good or that's a good idea, but it's a moneymaker, and that's what they're interested in. So I think that has taken a hold over top of, the investiture it takes into creating product, into creating blockbusters that you're hopefully going to be successful. Why make something unique and original and new, Mr. James Cameron? Why not churn out some more avatars? It's just what we do. We like a thing and we want more of said thing. It's consumer culture. It's easier to have your 1,500th episode of Batman than it is to do more unique and original characters in a similar vein. People don't want to think anymore, I guess. No, I don't think people really want to think. But and then while being ignorant to the reality, like Batman's not original. Batman is based on the shadow and the spirit. It's a motif set up in the 1920s about the billionaire industrialist's son, or the inheritor of this incredible fortune of wealth, that decides to take on the injustices of the world after having lived while projecting a frivolous lifestyle of, Mr. Slacker Rich Kid. So it goes back 20 years before Batman even appeared. And it probably goes back before that. I think you could think of many different characters like Arsène Lupin, which is from the 19s, right? It's basically like a French Sherlock Holmes, super genius guy, but he's a thief. The rich guy gallivanting around, stealing things and pulling one over on society. It's the same as Batman. Bruno Diaz is not original? We need more conspiracies. Conspiracy chicken. Yes, chicken stories. I think it's going to get worse, though. We no longer encourage kids to exercise their imaginations. We don't need to because screens are so convenient. Yeah, that's a mistake that's being made. I mean, I don't know about where other people are, but here in Canada, and specifically here in Ontario, we have a teachers' union that's way too powerful. And they decided to stop teaching cursive and change the way that kids read words from sounding words out to recognizing words. And we have produced an entire generation of kids that have great difficulty reading. So now they're pulling back on that. Well, I'm glad your social experiment on the children didn't work out at the cost of the children. And I feel like the universities are churning out teachers based on, hey, it's a good salary, as opposed to, hey, it's a calling. More and more, because that seems to be the attitude that you feel. I don't know if it's that, or maybe it's always been that. It's always just people that are taking the job because it's money. But I haven't heard it expressed as much as I have in the last few years before. Or maybe it's age. Maybe it's becoming more exposed to the secret that's going on behind the curtains. We don't. Who knows? So I'm drawing a deer, a random deer that sits on a carousel, because it's one thing to do the expected, is it this? Do you want this? How about this? And then, is this a mouse? And then, of course, it's not a mouse, it's a deer. But, you know, why not throw that in too? You haven't seen anything until you've seen USA teachers unions, Christopher. Oh, no. Did you see my post about conspiracy chickens? Yesterday, a student got mad as he was told all writing tasks will be written by hand on paper. He said in the real world, he doesn't need to learn how to write. Oh, I'm so sorry, Chris. Oh, come on. Good afternoon. How you doing, Riri? Good afternoon. Chris, I would definitely not include you in one of those people that teach because, I do it for the paycheck. You seem really dedicated to your kids. Well, I know that they're not necessarily kids, but you know what I mean. Ken's like, get a ruler, Jack. Don't yell at me, Janet. Hey, look out. Chris wasn't my son, Frank says. Oh, no. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. And we used to have to sort of, if you want to stay over, we got to do some reading to the grandkids. We used to do that see that sort of thing to them. And now, I mean, I got to go turn the light off when Jay's going to bed because the kid won't put the book down. Just fantastic. Fantastic. I knew you were testing the waters. This is what he's doing, okay? It's just how long before he just nips that? Just gives me a little nibble, little love nip there. Let's see if he can get away with it. Okay, so now I've got a carousel reindeer and the 3 different types of mice for the display items for the Warholian prints that he's going to be putting forward. And then we've got a design motif which incorporates the swirls. So one way or another, we got a mouse. We've got the swirls to be incorporated into it, and then now it just becomes a case of Andy Warhol talking to whoever it is that he's going to do the project for. I don't know. I might try to figure out a way to incorporate some of the jelly plating stuff in here. But so there's our first pile of images, and then now let's do our next bit of business, which is going to be to draw Warhol himself. So I've got my little source image. I'm going to use this one right. Whoops. No, get back. I lost it. There it is. That's the one I'm going to be drawing from. So it makes me have to, be creative in my image because it's only so large, right? Instead of being entirely reliant on the specific image itself. So everyone make sure kids these days wanting AI to do everything, like what is it called? The chatbot? Chatbot, I think it is, writes papers for kids. I guess you can only write in the virtual world. Oh yeah, for that student. Yeah. Everyone make sure you have all messages clicked. Otherwise you won't see the chat. Oh, thanks, Diddy. Hey, it's Gary Hodges, everybody. How you doing, Gary? All right. Okay, so let's get crack-a-lackin' here. Now, I went from larger glasses to smaller glasses, and Warhol's glasses are ridiculous. They take up a lot of face. Okay, you good? Yes. Where are we at? I read somewhere that our newer generations are getting more stupid. 100 years ago, people were more intelligent and were able to solve more problems more efficiently. Ouch! Chat GPT is a writing bot. Okay. Gary is life. Gary is life. Frank, are you kidding me? Sorry, we're able to. Yeah, no, of course your grammar was fine. Gary, did you propose to Mary yet? No, you, Terry. Oh my gosh. I was telling Chris, he was asking. I see. Is that the Jim Luhan? Frank for president. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I think that it's not that we're getting stupider. It's that there's certain facilities that are being lost, like memory, any sort of information retention whatsoever. People can't remember phone numbers. People can't remember addresses and postal codes and things like that. And I myself am part guilty of this. Or key specific information. You don't have to necessarily have any clear understanding of larger ideas because you can just look them up. And so there's unfortunately this expectation that everything is accessible. And my argument has always been that only lasts so long as until the electromagnetic pulse wipes all those people's brains out. And what I mean by that is that as soon as their computers are all shut down, what the heck are those folks going to do? So let's get cracking on Mr. Warhol here. So I'm just trying to find those shapes in his face. Throwing these down roughly. I haven't decided where I'm going to go with things. If I'm going to do line art, if I'm going to try to do it with some degree of like a Banksy in it with nice little pen marks and little hash marks and stuff. I'm not entirely sure because we've got to keep it to some extent looking. Well, you know what? No, I don't. I don't at all. That's not true. I'm going to take that back. I don't have to make it look like Warhol because I put Warhol in it. So, is it a joke or real? Did I blow your mind, Riri? Did I miss the question of the day? Yes. It was, have you binged on Amazon Day? Riri says a friend, yes. Turquoise drinking coffee. Did you just told us, Christopher? What? About what? This where you have a loss? Oh my God! I just realized what you did. That's fantastic, Miriam. Question today: do you go crazy shopping on Amazon Prime? No, I am not a Prime subscriber. You can't spell salt with Sal, and who's more salty than Salazar? Vote for Frank. There we go. I'm putting that on my front lawn. You send me a picture, I'll make a sign out of it. Gary, see Chris's chance about with some scary stuff. Gary, so you didn't get the Farrah Fawcett poster on Big Prime Day? Oh my gosh. If you're talking about the 1970s Farrah Fawcett poster, that's not an endearing poster. It's, here's the terrible thing about that. In that poster of Farrah Fawcett where she's got her leg curled up to her, that poster is, it's the majority of the submissive ape gestures in one picture. It sounds, I'm not saying she's a monkey. Farrah Fawcett's very lovely, and every boy enjoyed that poster on their bedroom ceilings. I didn't own one, but a great deal of people I know love that poster of Farrah Fawcett. But it's markets a certain way. Okay, so this is putting in these shapes for Warhol's face. So my hope, my undying hope for you today, folks, is that the sound is a lot better than it was on Friday. Also, I'm setting up, I can give you a sneak peek if people want. Let me know if you guys are interested in a sneak peek. But I'm setting up some digital books on Patreon. So subscribers on Patreon will have access to small mini books that have collections of one-page comics. If you're interested in that, that's what we'll be doing next. The finished book is coming out eventually soon too, but in the meantime, all these things that aren't in that book are going to be collected in the mini books, so that we can get copies of things to people. He looks like a villain from Heavy Metal right now. His empty eyes like that. Farrah Fawcett was married to the $6 billion man, Lee Majors. Miriam says, sneak peek. Here's a thought. Kate Jackson from Charlie's Angels was actually quite stunning. It's just that she got drowned out by Jacqueline Smith and Farrah Fawcett because they were glam. I don't know. I thought Kate Jackson she was very pretty. But yeah, I'm sure that the whole va-va boom factor was applied to the others if she was the smart one. Janice DeWitt, she was a nice lady on Three's Company. Nice looking gal. Big blessings. Does anybody know the theme song to the Three's Company show? It's a sign of age. Miriam, do you have all messages selected at the top of the chat? Which one was Kate Jackson? The not glam one? She was the one that she filled the exposition in for people. Because all she's the one that would, basically say, Charlie, we got to do this, and and go and investigate at this place. And then, what's her name? Uh, Jacqueline Smith would, she was the kind of key point person, and Farrah was always the whole. But Charlie, when she'd ask the questions that the audience are asking at home, just the way they wrote it. So the reason that I've drawn his eyes crazy is because of the lens, or the reflection in the lens in his eyes. Boom, 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 boom. I like Joyce DeWitt. She outlasted them. Yeah, come and knock on my door. Take a step that is new. This is top messages. You need to change it to all. Where? Okay, so now we're getting into that whole stylish haircut that you'll never see me sporting. I know a guy in town. Well, he's in town half the time in New York, the other half the time that looks and acts like Andy Warhol. It's very annoying. I don't know if that affectation is put on purposely or not. What other chat are you going to experience the mentions of Kate Jackson and Joyce DeWitt? Oh, Miriam found it. Gary says, I remember as a kid, I liked Kate Jackson best. When you're 6, you don't need to be sexually intimidated. For me, it was all about Emma Peel because she did karate. I thought John Steed was the coolest guy ever on The Avengers. If you don't know what I'm referring to, it's The Avengers with John Steed and Mrs. Peel. Oh, I was reciting the theme from memory. Yeah, come and knock on a door, take a step that is new. Your kisses are hers and hers and hers. It's thirst company too. Oh, and Mary on Gilligan's Island. Yeah, Mary was nice. My Joyce DeWitt poster arrives tomorrow. I answered one of your questions twice, Miriam. I figured you didn't see. Emma Peel on The Avengers. Does Joyce DeWitt for you? Facebook and Instagram, but I tag on Facebook. Ah, I see. It's got hair like my Aunt Marion. I'm giving this little velvet jacket. things men big. Oh, Corbin's leaving. Good heavens, but I put his mouse under his butt as he was trying to sit down. So tomorrow, I'm thinking I want to try to draw characters like they're animated. I've got ideas, anyhow. So what I mean by that is to just sort of make forms bulbous and movement with a lot of movement. This is how we do it. Okay. So what I mean by that is, like in the case of Warhol, I guess it would be like a gaunt face with a tall cylindrical shape, and we give him that skinny form, big shoulders, and just the gaunt body. So when it's basically just sort of drawing, overemphasizing everything when drawing in this way. So his hands would be these sort of big clunky shapes. Overemphasis on those. But this is, I'm thinking of drawing like this, like doing the page tomorrow, and give him a drawing. Just a very shaped form. That's the fun thing about emphasizing things when you're doing it in an animated way, is that it basically involves utilizing the three principles. And what I mean by the three principles is that these are the three core shapes that you can find in everything, right? We're making one of these movements to make these forms as we're drawing anything we want. But for Warhol, it would be the same thing where he's got his little belt buckle, and he's got his purse, and his bag hangs over here on the side. It's just everything follows form. Turtleneck. You can go so far as to even hang the pants over the boots, but if I'm not mistaken, he was an elevator shoe guy, so anyways, that's just having fun for a moment. It is real. Holy freaking blah, blah, blah. What? I'm missing something anyhow. So when I'm thinking about this, and I'm thinking about different characters, like, it just becomes, whenever you're animating, that's why you see with shapes like with rats, they'll emphasize on mice, they'll emphasize on the parts of their form. So everything becomes this is really rough, but this is why you'll see, if a prime example is like The Secret of Nim, whereas the characters will have these tiny upper arms, and it can be very expressive, of course, but it still follows that form as function, right? double jacket on them, whatever it is, but and then you upturn the eye as opposed to where here you're trying to draw it realistically. In this case, you're upturning the eye as opposed to the side turning, because you want to anthropomorphize it so that you can get a little more human expression out of it, right? Anyhow, yeah, this is just a random thing. I used to love Andy's magazine interview. There you go. Oh, gotta go. See you around on Thursday. See you on Thursday, Chris. Have a great day. I hope that the electricity stays working for Chris. She was having trouble with that earlier. Okay, so we've got all of our elements. We got our Andy, we got our spirals, we got our 4 different things that he's going to try to solicit as the posters. And then we've got, so why not? Let's do things as a line art, and then we'll go from there. So right now I'm using the Fudenosuke pen. And this is the hard tip, which is blue. If you haven't tried these pens, I recommend them very highly. It's a fantastic, I'll show you here. There's your single straight line. With pressure, you've got your broad line. But what's really lovely about these is the difference between the two. It's just amounts of pressure placed on the brush. And so as you're doing sweeps, you can get some fantastic lines out of that. So if you're inking, it lets you imply some weight. Like if you have an opportunity to look at the paintings of like Modigliani, and he'll have, well, I can't do him justice, but he'll have the shape of somebody in the portrait, and the line will sweep out like this, and so you'll get this sense of weight by how he does the stroke, and there's a beauty in that. There's if you really look at Modigliani's work, and you'll see what I mean by the weighted line. There's a great deal of creators that have an affinity for doing that today. When it comes to inking, and specifically in sequential media, I think that maybe one of the most prominent ones today is Rachel Dodson. She's part of a team, a husband and wife team. He does the pencils. She goes over everything with ink and enhances stuff and gives things depth and follows the contour of form, and puts some textures in there and some really lovely brushwork. And then he goes in and colors on top of that digitally. So look at those two people's work. Are the pens to die for? I wouldn't die for them. But they are fantastic. If you're in a situation where your life and death options are for a pen or not, oh my gosh, let us know. We'll help you. So by studying that picture, as small as I was, it sort of forces me to have to make decisions. That if I was just trying to replicate this really easy to see image, then I might not find ways to keep the authenticity of the lines that I'm putting down. There's no right or wrong way to put these lines down. You're just playing with the form and the shape and the surface, and it's making the eye move around by having fun little, you don't have to connect. I'll hold this up. You don't have to connect all of those lines. By not connecting those lines, it allows the eye to dance around for the viewer and to pursue maybe their own path of where they're looking around on the face. Because we have an innate understanding of the structure of the face. When you look at a rocky outcropping and you see, oh, there's a face in that. Look at, oh, it even looks like the profile of a beautiful Aboriginal man with a prominent nose and with a arched ridge. And, it's rocks. You're looking at rocks. But the fact that you see that is because of that natural tendency for us to see faces. Jim, do you want to discuss favorite 70s and 80s sitcom ladies? Kate Jackson, Joyce Stewart, Daisy Duke. But that was Thursday. Is it a Canada thing? No, she just, Chris is, those are her 2 days off from teaching, Tuesday and Thursday, and she can come and join and hang out in the stream. Andy, Riri said that she used to love Andy's magazine interview. I don't think that I'm familiar with that. If anybody has any questions or thoughts or anything, now I know, and knowing is half the battle. That's an 80s thing. That's for sure. It's funny, I know so many people that because they grew up so rooted in the 80s, like my G.I. Joes were dolls. My little brother's G.I. Joes were 3 3/4 inch. Can anybody looking at this portrait, this sketch-up of Andy Warhol, what is the major part of him that I'm missing? So I'm trying to think of some things, and anybody that's in the chat today or just lurking on the stream, one of my sons is starting to try to help me out with, some of this online YouTube world. But I'm trying to think of some things that might be fun, like offering drawing giveaways or something like that. So if anybody has any thoughts on that matter, any ideas, that doesn't involve becoming a really big ton of extra work, please feel free to let me know. Okay. Now, I didn't put these in earlier because I find that they can be overpowering. How was my Thanksgiving? It was great. We got to spend time with most of the kids, except for Nicole, because Nicole has been in Europe and she's on her way home now, flying back from Dublin. So What's the Thanksgiving story for Canada? Mounties come over to Canada on the USS Maple Leaf, and they had a big maple festival. We have a whole grossly different history for the exploration of Canada than the States. It's quite interesting. But ours, whereas yours involves the Mississippi and the Lewis and Clark and all that, we have quite a few different people like Jean Cartier and things like that you never have heard of. So there's the big old eyebrows. Nicole, my ex-wife? No, Frank, Nicole, my daughter. She was in Madrid, and she was in a couple different places in France, and a couple different places in Spain, and Portugal, and then she flew in and out of Europe by stopping in Dublin and then flying into Europe from Dublin. So kids are doing it on the cheap. Caricature. A caricature of the person as a prize would be good. That's Frank's ex-wife's name. Oh my. Yeah, I think that might be something fun. Yeah, well, I think we can do that. Now, how do I go about doing it? Should I do it as a draw? Because we could do one today. I don't care. Is that looking like Andy Warhol? I feel like it is, but that's the thing about drawing. Is that what you think you got going on doesn't necessarily mean it conveys. No one solves my math problem. What's your math problem? Oh, I'm sorry. If knowing is half the battle and possession is 9/10 of the law, how many are possessed in battle? There we go. Thanks, Didi. Okay, so I'm going to have to learn how to do this. Let's say this, okay? I have to figure out how I'll ask this week about, I'll find out this week about setting up the random number generator, get that turned on, and then let's say tomorrow, my stream tomorrow afternoon, I will do a draw for a caricature of somebody. Well, I don't like the word caricature, but I'll do a drawing of somebody. How about, let's just say that. Because I don't want to get tied into having to do it in the caricature style or have an expectation of that. Because if I want to do it realistically, I'll do it realistically. I've done very different versions of of people as I put them in pieces. So again, try these pens out. They are so fun. Going right to the tip of this page with this. Look at that. Woof. Okay, it's Andy Warhol.
Does anybody see my gold telephone?
All right. I thought it was Josh Kimball at a job interview. There you go. Yeah, Andy Warhol himself wouldn't have done that so good. I didn't think he'd say, "That looks like me." That's what he'd say. I've made his shoulders too raised. And to lower those down a little bit, soften that shoulder up. Sometimes it's fun, especially if you work in certain ways, to come at it from a different approach. Like the simple line art image doesn't match up. Whoops a daisy. We'll fix that in the edit. But it's fun to, if you draw like Expedia and you tend to have a more organic and sort of choppy, sloppy way of moving, to have to do something just specifically in clean, straight old line art, means you have to think a little bit. And that's fun. Which pens are these? This is called, I'll write it down for you, Den O Su K. Right? So the blue is a hard tip, and black is the soft tip. Here we go. Happy. Okay, so I'm feeling good. We got. I just got to do the line art for these things, and then it just becomes a case of putting those together on the page. But well, I'm still going to draw a conversation panel with Andy talking to somebody else. I think I can't just always have Andy staring. Maybe that is part of the funny joke. Is Andy Warhol's always going,
"Hello, what do you think of this?"
That might be fun. He was a weird guy. Let's be honest. He's a weird dude. So yeah, so I'm pretty pleased with that. It's ready? Here we go.
Thanks everyone for watching the show today. It was very fun. We made some art.
All right. Okay, so I'll get this finished and wrapped up. I got to get back to a couple things though from this morning. In the meantime, I hope everybody's having a good time and working on whatever they're working. The 3 words for today are Warhol, swirls, and mouse. I'll write them down here so they're easy to see on the paper. Warhol, swirls. Hopefully you can read my writing. And mouse. So if anybody else wants to use those 3 prompts, I'll have this finished and posted for the morning so that everybody wants to see it. They're welcome to do so. Tonight at 8 o'clock, I'll be posting today's Inktober. That's my new routine, is to post the one thing in the morning and the other thing in the night. So I hope everybody's having fun. And if you're on, what are we at? Day 10 or 11, I think, for Inktober. If you're still doing it and have fun, awesome. If you're starting to feel pressured by it, remember, it's okay not to have to do it. If you've got other things that are more important and you can't figure it, and it's stressful to fit that time in for Inktober as well, take it easy on yourself. And don't stress yourself out too much. All right. Thank you so much, Christopher. Hey, thank you for coming on out. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you. Ooh, clapping. I like it. Thanks, everybody, for coming out today and hanging out. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're going to have a great week. Let's see. What do we got coming up? Dee Dee's got her stream first thing in the morning. If anybody else has any streams that are coming out this week, please let us know. Miriam, when will you be streaming next as well? Riri, anybody. If you've got any streams coming up you want to let people know about, feel free to put it in the comments. And otherwise, I'll be back at 2 o'clock EST tomorrow. And, we'll see you then. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.